in effect. I'm Steve Kim, joined by our Cody Bellinger. He's swinging a big bat, Mr. Mario Lopez.
Hey, I thought I was going to get a golf moniker this week, our Tiger Woods, considering we had the classic yesterday, but I'll take Cody any day. And our caddy of the show here, Justin Buffalo Knuckles.
We've got a lot to talk about, but we begin Saturday night at the MGM Grand in Viva, Las Vegas on the Plus of ESPN. Heavyweight title was on the line, the linear one at least. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Tyson Fury blows out Tom Schwarz in 2, moving his record to 28-0-1. Tom Schwarz, first career loss, 24-1. Mario, what was learned in this exhibition?
Okay, first of all, I loved everything about this. He came out looking like Apollo Creed and Rocky IV to James Brown living in America with the shorts, the outfit, the whole thing. That was awesome. This is, of course, his big ESPN debut. I love all that theatrics. You know I love it. And he's got the personality to sort of pull it off. Now, as far as the fight itself, I know it was only 2 rounds. Okay, and a lot of people are comparing it to Wilder, Dominic Breazeale. I respectfully disagree because I thought in those 2 rounds, it showed what a complete boxer Tyson Fury really is. The way he feints, the way he sets up his combinations and his footwork, and he was able to switch to southpaw a la Terrence Crawford, and he delivered that knockout, setting it up beautifully, breaking his nose. Say what you will about Schwarz, the guy was undefeated. Yeah. Big guy, big German heavyweight, didn't know how to lose, went in there with a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum, and I really thought that he had a shot or could make it at least competitive. It was a complete wash. It was a great, great debut. But again, it was only 2 rounds, but I saw so many facets to Tyson Fury, and it really goes to show that he is the most complete fighter in the heavyweight division. By all means, talented, and then his size with being 6'9", and the reach and the way he's able to switch. And again, I love the feints, the combo punching, and you could really make that assessment in just the 2 rounds. I felt, as opposed to with Wilder and Breazeale, you just say, okay, that guy's got a bomb. And even Wilder took a big shot there from Breazeale. To me, it was a much more impressive 2 rounds with Fury than I think he showed a lot. I think he showed, and you want me to tell you why? Because look, when he fought Wilder, that was his first fight in almost 2 years. He was coming off of a camp that was not even a full camp. Now it seems like he's kept mentally himself in order. He's stayed in shape in the gym. Even though he's sort of built like a bag of milk. Hey, look, we know that doesn't mean anything now with the beautiful body types with Andy Ruiz and what have you. But I was very impressed that he was able to stay on the right path and look sharp and look good in those 2 rounds. He is, I think, going to be a completely different fighter if he stays on this road when he faces Wilder next.
Look, I don't disagree. All I'm saying is, and I made the comparison that Tom Schwarz was German for Dominic Breazeale. To me, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder did the Chris Rock. They did what they're supposed to. Okay, one was a mismandatory, the other was a mismatch. But I will say this: Tyson Fury, I'd never seen him up that close. Man, for a guy 6'8", 6'9".
Impressive, right? Athletic.
I mean, his athleticism, his boxing IQ, and then the ability to switch southpaw.
Right.
And then understanding tactically what he needed to do. And I think, again, you talked about the staging of the event, how ESPN put all their resources to really promoting him. If there was ever a time that Tyson Fury could not play with this food and he had to make a statement that didn't end in just a period but an exclamation point, it was this night.
It was definitely an exclamation point. And by the way, even the antics afterwards when he was singing to
he's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy. But by the way, he's got a good voice. I thought he sounded pretty good. Pretty good. He was singing. I was like, that's a great, colorful character. And he put an exclamation point on top of another exclamation point with the entrance, the performance in the ring, and the singing. I thought it was a great night.
According to Tyson Fury and Bob Arum, either September 21st or October 5, they will have a fall return. And according to Bob Arum, that next fight will take place in the good old U.S. of A.
Tyson Fury is an American fighter. He fights in the United States. Period. Enough said. When he came out wearing the U.S. colors, that was a message that he's now established as a U.S. American fighter.
Wow.
So
Okay.
there's no reason for him to fight in the UK. Not now, maybe not ever.
So it's clear Tyson Fury, the American invasion, it's like the Beatles. It's been a big success. I'm not so sure who they're going to fight. According to someone at Top Rank, again, we still have the Deontay Wilder rematch slated for sometime in the first quarter of 2020. I was told they're going to fight someone, quote unquote, tall, because they want to get used to Deontay Wilder. He's 6'6".
Well, the German guy was pretty tall,
He
too.
was. But, let me just put it to you like this. Who's the best heavyweight in the world? I would say that Tyson Fury, tactically and technically, is the most complete. The most lethal and dangerous is Deontay Wilder. And to me, I want to talk about the lineal title. I know people are trying to talk about it a lot. I know the ESPN broadcasters brought it up ad nauseum. The lineal title means something, but it's not everything. It's not meaningless, but it does have some meaning. But my question is this. If Tyson Fury was the recognized champion after outboxing Vladimir Klitschko in 2015, everyone said, you're the recognized champion, right? So, Mario, if you had that title and you didn't fight for 2 to 2.5 years, should you still have that title as the champion of any division? If you literally just don't do your job, you don't fight one time, for all intents and purposes, isn't that lineage at that point somewhat broken?
I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, you always got to beat the man who beat the man, and he was that guy. And when he dove back in against Wilder, who we know how dangerous he is, and most people thought he won, and I kind of agree with him. I was there, happened to be the ringside, and I thought he might have.
Mario, I'm with you. My point is, if you have Fury number 1, and your reasoning is he hasn't lost yet, and I thought he beat Wilder, then I don't disagree.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But if you're just saying, well, he had the lineage. Well,
no. But you can't just. But that's not what happened.
Yeah, no. But if it's only the lineage, that's where I disagree.
No.
I completely disagree. If it's just lineage,
if it was correct, but being that he did come off the heels of Wilder, then I have no problem with it.
Because we have to be realistic. The fight on the record books, and again, that's what counts, is a draw. His other 3 victories have been Sefer Safari, Francisco Pianeta, and then Tommy the Schwarz be with you. That's not exactly the 27 Yankees. It ain't the Murderer's Row. And look, the problem with the lineage, about that whole thing about the man who beats the man who beats the man, you could start using that and leveraging the weakest opponents and say for 10 years, well, no one's beaten me. I mean, look at Jack Dempsey's title reign. His biggest knockout during his title run was Shelby, Montana, bankrupting a city. Like, I believe it has to be a blend of having the lineage, which, okay, you also got to beat guys.
Well, no, you have to be
beating, and also
not
being
just
a
guys,
consistent fighter.
Well, not just guys, but the contenders. Whoever deserves to be the worthy contenders, of course. That should be assumed. Unfortunately, it's not.
Right, and I just wonder, why is the linear title only matter in the heavyweights? Does anyone ever talk about, well, he's the linear middleweight or welterweight title? That's another thing.
That's a good point, but it is sort of recognized in that. I remember during the whole Manny Pacquiao and when he beat De La Hoya and the whole thing, he was sort of recognized no matter what other champion. So it was a little bit in the welterweight area, but just as a whole, the heavy division, I think, is pretty exciting at the moment with the characters we have with Wilder, Fury, Ruiz. It's pretty exciting, and if they can get in there and mix it up, then it's better for the whole sport.
And last time I checked, Fury and Wilder hopefully are on a collision course. If you don't have a number 1 heavyweight right now and you want to hedge, I'm fine with that, because I believe that unlike Spence Crawford, which we'll get into later, they're going to settle it inside the ring. So anyway, Friday, Fantasy Springs Casino, we go inside the zone. And Mario, I'm very much looking forward to this. I am making the drive up on Friday morning. It's the rematch. The WBA regular 130-pound title is on the line. Andrew Chango Cancio, the blue-collar champion, takes on Alberto Huepa Machado.
It's one of my favorite fights this year.
Yes, what a story.
One of my favorite fights, both the fight itself, his comeback within the fight, getting off the canvas, the backstory in his hometown. I love everything about this. I think it will be more competitive. I think Freddie Roach has made certain adjustments. I know the weight issue was a factor, or they like to say it was a factor, because I don't like to make excuses, but I think it will be a little bit more competitive. I don't know, though. I might have to favor Cancio kind of going in. His style, I think, assuming this is the same Cancio that shows up, his style might prove to continue to be problematic. It should be a really tough competitive fight, though.
Last Thursday, I spent the whole day with Freddie Roach, early in the morning, all the way till his last fighter, and Machado looks much better physically. And the last time, he was delayed 2 weeks in coming to Los Angeles because he had a young child that went through surgery. Now, people say, hey, there's excuses, you can't make... Listen, Mario, you've had children. When children have the sniffles,
Still
you're worried. I mean, that's your whole life. And when a kid actually goes through under the knife, listen, I could see where a guy is a little bit distracted. Conditioning's not going to be the same. Looking at Machado's body, though, here's the issue. He's 5'10", and he's 28 years old. Making 130 is always going to be an issue.
Dude, that
Bottom
is
line.
5'10", 130, that's crazy when you think about it. He's so big for that weight class. It absolutely is. Like, by the way, he'd be big as a lightweight.
He's going to have to box.
He's going to be bigger for 135.
That right stick is going to have to really keep Concio outside because inside, he got taken to the wheelhouse in the first fight. You know what I love about Concio? A couple of weeks ago at the Golden Boy offices, they had a media get-together. Both Machado and Concio drove up. Concio, on this day, at 8 o'clock in the morning, sparred 12 rounds in Oxnard with Coach Haas and then drove up. And I asked him, how'd you get the day off? He goes, I took a vacation day from Southern California Gas Company.
How can you not root for that
now,
guy?
This week, he actually worked a full shift yesterday, working the jackhammer, doing what... Yeah, and
He's like old school Rocky Balboa on the docks, but
and,
not keeping it, but keeping it legal.
And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, taking more vacation days.
Yeah.
And then by Monday,
His
he'll
boss
be
ought to
working.
give him a break.
Well,
His
they're
boss
trying-
should not give him that.
Look,
Don't count those vacation days.
This guy is special in a sense that what other championship world-class fighter is working this type of job so close? And he says, Steve, till I make life-changing money, this is my reality. And
So
by the
smart.
way,
and credit to him.
you talked about your relatives that work the jackhammer, and you talked about how big their forearms are. He showed me his forearms. My God, he looks like Jose Canseco when he's doing 40-40 in 88. It is unreal for a guy making 130. His forearms look like Popeye after the spinach.
Yeah,
I've never
that's
seen
some
anything
strength.
like it.
My grandfather worked the jack too. He, believe it or not, and it sounds like it was. He used to hold one in
Oh, my
each
goodness.
hand and do them both just to show off. But you shake his hand, it was like a vice grip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the sense that this will be a better fight. It's a better version of Machado. But Concio, in my view, has his number.
That's what I said.
And no, that's what you said. Now I get to say what I say. I'm gonna go with Concio again because I saw certain things in that first fight that if he slips that jab of Machado, and Machado to me is a guy that likes to punch. He's not what I call a tactical boxer. Eventually, he's going to start to get inside, and he will chip away at Machado. And I don't know if I see a mid-round stoppage, but I see a much longer fight than 4 rounds. Also, on this card, Angel Acosta, the other Puerto Rican champion, WBO junior flyweight titleist, takes on Elwin Soto in the co-main event. And Mario, make sure you set your VCRs to Showbox. One of your personal favorites will be in Sloan, Iowa, the tallest junior middleweight in the history of junior middleweights. Sebastian Fundura is back
I love that dude. All 6'7" of them.
at 154. That's amazing.
It is amazing. And you know what's even crazier? He doesn't look Manute Bolish out there.
Yeah.
It kind of works, right?
Yeah, he does. And
he
he's
still looks pretty solid. He likes to fight inside, and he still looks
That's the
pretty
thing.
solid.
I remember when I saw him at
6'7", 154.
Abel Sanchez's gym, the Summit, about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
He looked like a baby giraffe. Like he couldn't even stand up on his feet. Now he's got some strength and some constitution to his
Yeah.
backside, and you're like, wow. It's interesting. You're right. You think he's going to box you from the inside, so guys think, I want to be right in the wheelhouse.
Yeah,
That's where he
gets in
wants
there.
you.
Yeah.
Buzzkill. I was really looking forward to this grudge match. PBC on Fox Sunday at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. It was supposed to be Jermel Charlo taking on Tony Harrison. They had a very contentious fight back in December. Harrison has a sprained ankle or some sort of injury like that. So now it's going to be Jorge Cota. The biggest buzzkill is that I did an interview with Tony Harrison when they announced this fight. He didn't like my tweets. He had a very and the interview's still on tape.
We are kind of salty sometimes.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. He asked me, well, what do you think happened the first fight? And I said, I thought Charlo won. And, boy, he didn't like it. Did not like it. And we went back and forth, and hopefully we can replay the interview one of these days.
Right.
But Jorge Cota, to me, is a no-hoper, so it's one of those things that I'm going to DVR and tape it because it's my job. It's what I do. Also on that card, Guillermo Rigondeaux takes on Julio Ceja.
Oh, your favorite.
Moving on, this past weekend was Father's Day. It looked like you had a good Father's Day there, Mario.
I did have a good Father's Day, fun Father's Day. The whole weekend, Saturday, we went out to, you know what, I should have gone today, woke up and went straight to Betty Ford. because Saturday drinking all during the Dodgers game, and then on Sunday, Dad came over and we went to our mariachi brunch, played some bocce, drank all day yesterday or the other day, and then had the golf tournament, which we'll talk about a little bit more.
Yeah.
Man, drank all day that, so I'm feeling rough today. I'm probably looking and feeling. But yeah, like a hot mess.
Speaking of fathers, I spent a lot of time with Teofimo Lopez, the father of Teofimo Lopez, who, by the way, is not a junior. Story behind that. I had a chance to talk to him at length about his son's focus going into their fight in July, the new nutritionist that they have brought on board, Michelle Ingalls from Perfecting Athletes, and the fact that his son is growing up and some of the changes made in the dynamic of their relationship.
Teo, let me ask you something. How much better is this environment, the attitude, the atmosphere in the camp, compared to, let's say, the Tatley fight?
Oh my God, it's just like you can't compare it, man. I remember with Eddie, sadly, we only had like one sparring session. And, I was okay. I knew that he was going to do good because all he has to do is run, But for that fight, we didn't even train anything, man. Compared to what we're doing right now, it's just amazing, We got our own crib. Top Rank gave us a nutritionist for the first time in 17 years that we have a nutritionist. He's about to make weight already, and we're still like about a month and something away from the fight, like 5 weeks, right? So he's like about at 149 right now, and he's got maybe about 12 pounds of just water weight. So you divide, subtract that from like 149 is what, like talking about like 137, 138, so we already like almost on weight. So I never experienced anything like a nutritionist, and we getting this accommodations now because Top Rank really believes in us, and like Bob told me, the money is not an issue. Whatever you guys want me to give you guys, it's gonna happen. And now we have Michelle, which is freaking an amazing woman. She's one of the founders of the nutritional system that they're doing with Top Rank, especially they take care of Shakur Stevenson, Crawford. So we're with the big league right now. We're doing really good.
Junior, were you worried about your son's focus that he was already losing his interest in boxing? Were you worried that was happening?
Of course, 100%, but it wasn't more about him didn't want to box. It was more about him with the stress, with the new girl that he got, and the family fighting about, his relationship with his girlfriend. And, we decided that, it was time for him to focus more on the boxing, and for us to do that, we had to just make moves, and the moves we made was freaking great moves. Like he decided that even though my wife was doing a great job for so many years, I'm talking about like 17 years of nutrition and taking care of him, we decided we needed a new nutrition, somebody that, my wife is really good, like when it comes down to food and feeding him and everything like that, it's really like she knows what she's doing. But when it comes down to like knowing the weight, knowing how much liquid you're taking every day, and just like mathematically doing everything the right way, I think Michelle is the best one, and she's doing a great job.
When you look at your situation, the effect it's had on you, how much stress were you under the last, let's say, 7, 8, 9, 10 months before all of these changes?
Oh I've always been strong, like to me this has been easier than a person that had never went through the struggles that I went through, ever since we was in the amateurs and all the robberies they did to us, and we just kept on going. And even though he won everything in the United States, we had to go and get our country to go and and represent our country in Honduras, just to get to the Olympics. That's just frustrating, and we broke a lot of walls just to get there. So stuff like this just made us stronger. So when things like this happen, I just see it like another day in the job. So right now we are where we were supposed to be at, and it's all because of the fighting and the struggle. And God, one thing that made me keep on going is God. I always believed in God, and I always believed that we was gonna get to the top, just by believing in Him. And let me tell you something, man. You don't make it in this world by just getting everything given to you. You always gotta fight for it. So even though it's been very hard the past year and a half or whatever it is, look where we at now, you know, and everything's falling into place.
Would you say then, if you believe in God, that Michelle has been a godsend?
Oh my God, man. I mean, 100%, 100%. It's unbelievable. I mean, we've only been with her for about a week, and this kid is almost on weight already. So it's just amazing, you know. Michelle is just one of those persons that really takes their job really, really, like it's very important for them. You know, they want to show everybody that what they do is a reality, and that what they do is it works. And I've seen it with my own eyes, man, and I'm a truly believer, you know what I'm saying? Everything that we do is 100%. I think that we are the kings of boxing right now, and Michelle has come into our camp, and she deserves to be with us for the rest, you know, for the rest of our career.
So in terms of the roles, she handles all the nutrition and the meals, and you just focus on the boxing and conditioning. Is that the way the roles have been split up?
Of course, you know, nobody gets involved with my training and my you know, I do everything. When it comes down to cardiovascular, you know, when it comes down to the boxing scene, I'm the only one that I don't let nobody touch my son, you know. They got a lot of trainers out there that they overtrain their fighters. And I had a couple of people, you know, that Bob Aaron been interested in trying to help me with the conditioning and stuff, and I have told him no, you know. All we have to worry about is his intake, his food intake, make sure that he's you know, he has a lot of energy to you know, to be able to do everything that I tell him to do. And Michelle's been doing a great job, man. You know, and you know, you could imagine, you know, me as a trainer, when I do his boxing and I do his physical training, then I got to worry about his weight. It's too stressful, you know. Now I got Michelle, and I don't got to worry about that. And that was one of the most important parts of our training, was the weight. You know, keeping that weight and making sure that he's strong when he comes into the fights. So right now, everything is falling into place, and I feel like a free man, really.
Now, speaking of that then, do you think your son is happier than he was, let's say, the previous year or so?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I mean, and everybody sees it in the training camps, you know. Right now, Top Rank, I got Gardy. He takes care of all the Latinos and all the promoting him with the Latino people. And even Gardy came up to me, because Gardy was the person that, you know, introduced me to Michelle and told Top Rank that she will be a good influence for us in our training camp. And, you know, I heard Gardy, and all Gardy has ever done is just, you know, looked out for us, you know, and that's why Michelle is here with us in this camp, because of Gardy. And I gotta tell you that, you know, if it wasn't for Gardy, this wouldn't be happening right now, and I don't know where our career would have been at, especially now that we have these 3 fights, these very big, important fights. You know, we got to fight this guy. It's not gonna be an easy fight. You know, we're just gonna make it look easy. But we fighting Nakatani from Japan. You know, he's got a lot of followers. He's like a Mel Gibson. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in freaking Japan. You know, they follow him. He's a big celebrity. And, you know, we're going to get a lot of followers from Japan because of this fight. And, you know, the guy's coming to win. But it couldn't happen at a better time. We're ready. We're ready for this fight. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. And now I don't even have to worry. I was worried about these 3 fights, you know, because we got to maintain that 135 weight division. And I don't see no problem with it right now. I mean, I think we could go 2 rounds being at 2 years being at 135. That's how good I feel right now.
Do you believe that this camp house is necessary, given the fact that your son is growing? Changes have been made in his life, that he needed a little bit of separation from the family while also having the connection to them?
Yeah, 100%, you know, because, you know, there's a lot of, he sees it like, you know, when he goes to my house, he sees it like an intervention. He sees it like everybody's against his girlfriend, you know, so he told me from the beginning, I'll do the camp, but I don't want to do it in the house. I don't want my sisters around. I don't want my mother telling me what to do or whatever it is, because everybody does, you know, everybody's against my relationship with Cynthia. Now everybody's trying to figure it out. They're really realizing that this girl really loves me. So now everybody's going into place and everybody's just following my routine. I just wanted to have my own comfort, have my own camp in a place where I don't got to be fighting or arguing about Cynthia or anything like that. So my son's best focus was to have a place, and he even told Bob Arum and everybody, they wanted him to go to Big Bear or go out of the country or go somewhere else. And my son said, listen, I don't need to do that. I love Vegas. I want to be in Vegas. I just don't want to be in a family atmosphere. I want to be in a training camp atmosphere. And this is where he's at right now. He's happy. He's focused. I've never seen him more focused in my life since the amateurs, And it's a great feeling, man. And the sky's the limit. And what you guys are gonna see right now in these next 3 fights, if God gives us health, it's just gonna be amazing. It's gonna be entertainment, on steroids.
So Mario, I didn't know this. The specific reason, or the main reason, I went on April 20th to Madison Square Garden for the Crawford-Khan fight was not the fight. It was basically Teofimo Lopez against Edis Tatley. The kid told me flat out, he goes, Steve, before that fight, I nearly pulled out of that fight 4-5 times. That there were issues personally, there were issues with his diet, and now they have hired this young lady by the name of Michelle Ingalls. This is a 24/7 service. She is literally on his side every single minute of the day.
But where is the discipline lacking that he need? Is it mainly with food?
Yeah, a lot of that. I mean, look.
Or is he partying?
No, he doesn't party, though. That's the whole thing. But look.
Well, that's good, because that's actually what slows you down. But where's the concern lie?
Well, look, first of all, the marriage has been a little bit tumultuous on the family. There's a big divide. We've actually spoken about it. The father just said, hey, there's some issues there, but we're going to work this out. But Michelle Ingalls has a history with working with fighters. Terrence Crawford, Jamel Herring, Shakur Stevenson. Literally everything that goes into his body, she has to pass off on it. And it's interesting that she actually lives at that house that is being rented by Bob Arum. It's about 15 minutes away from the Strip. Nice house, about 4 or 5 bedrooms. There's a big swimming pool. There's a basketball court. There's even a trampoline. In the living room, there's a big pool table. So there has to be the situation where I need to be around my father. I like being around the family, but I can't be with the family. And there's a lot going on. The kid's only 21 years old, but life, as they say, is coming at him fast.
Mean one. Dang, he did like 1968, getting married that young. Okay.
But Michelle Ingalls, her main job, in my view, because I think he is going to beat this Japanese fighter Nakatani. Then he faces the winner of Richard Comey and Ray Beltran.
That'll be good.
And then they think Super Bowl weekend or right around that area, Vasyl Lomachenko. Her job basically is get us to that fight healthy at 135.
Ooh, that might be a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm interested to see how he looks in these next fights.
Yeah. But it seems like his mind is much more clear. I couldn't believe that. He said, Steve, the Tatley fight, I wanted nothing to do with. He trained literally 5 days, didn't even spar once, basically.
Wow.
Yeah. So there was a lot going on that none of us
can't do that
knew
though
about.
If you're going to go up against
at a certain level, you have to be focused. You have to be a 24-hour pro. Mario, a fight review this past weekend, there was a lot going on. Semifinals of the World Boxing Super Series in Latvia. Cruiserweights, the finals are now set. Maris Bradis with a TKO in 3 over Krzysztof Glowacki. A lot of controversy there. We'll talk about it. And Junior Dorticos, Mario, that right hand on Tabiti. Oof. What a bomb.
That was beautiful.
Whoa.
And that was a back-and-forth fight. He even looked in trouble at some point. He has that sort of Mayweather-esque sort of defense, right? That sort of kind of peekaboo defense. He caught some right hands, so you got to roll that shoulder really quick because he caught some big right hands. But the way he was able to open up that 1-2 and still stick with his fundamentals and not get sloppy later on in the fight, that was pretty. He's got some heavy hands for not being a guy that looks like he's got heavy hands, right?
Dorticos can really bring it with that right hand. And Mario, look, Robert Byrd, he's been a good ref for a very long time, but there comes a point in time when your old grandparents, you got to take away the keys. Because you don't want them running over 15 people on the sidewalk on a green light.
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy. Listen, more than any other sport, I would say, you need a young, and I'm not to discriminate, but you do need a young guy in there who's very alert, physically able to handle the fighters,
and can hear
anything, and you can hear. Because what would you say was about a good 15 seconds?
No, it's about 10.
Well, 10 seems like an eternity after. That's a long time.
And that's when the knockdown happened of Glowacki, and he never recovered.
Right.
Let's be honest about it. Even a minute, when you're concussed, it doesn't matter.
And that was after an elbow. To the mean elbow.
Now, Mario, you do a lot of combat sports. If someone, in any combat sport, if someone hit you in the back of the head, isn't the natural reaction to kind of, because I don't think that was, I'm not that hard on Bradis for doing that, because that's a dangerous punch.
No, it is. And listen, it's an actual MMA move too, right? As you get hit, you're rolling and swinging back with your elbow. In that circumstance, I don't think it was looked at as dirty.
Yeah.
It was more like a reflex.
Natural reaction.
Yeah, when like your boy Broner used to do like that humping motion too. If Maidana would have like reached back and gave him a headbutt and hit him and broke his nose, I wouldn't have had a problem with that. You're not supposed to be humping guys. So you should, you know what I mean? It was in that sort of reaction. Now, if he just headbutted him out of the blue, of course. But because of the reaction,
right,
or because of the action, and if you react like that,
kind of justified.
Exactly. I don't have an issue.
But Robert Byrd, in my view, he needed to own up to the mistake that if the knockdown happened after ding ding, he needs to say, okay, that's a late punch on me. You get more than 60 seconds.
Right.
Because I don't know how if this fight was in America with a neutral commission, I don't see how anyone could say we're going to have to like reverse that. That's going to be a no contest. But here's the reality. This is a tournament. As they say on, what do they say on Broadway? The show and the tournament must go on. So I don't see that happening. Also, from the UK, a little bit of controversy. Josh Warrington retains his IBF 126-pound title with a split decision over Kid Galahad. My only real takeaway is the fight could have gone either way. I think Galahad should have been penalized at least 2 or 3 times because he was doing flat-out Greco-Roman wrestling. That was some clinching. That was hugging. That was holding. That was not boxing. According to Bob Arum, who met with fearless Frank Espinoza, the manager of Oscar Valdez.
Fearless Frank.
He's fearless, all right, or fearsome.
28 in the waist, looking good in the face, Frank.
That's what he says all the time, and he means it. Bottom line, Bob Arum says whatever fight they want, they can have, and wherever the fight makes the most sense, either in America or in Britain, is where Oscar Valdez will fight either one of Carl Frampton, who returns August 10th in Philadelphia, or Josh Warrington. In my view, I kind of want the Warrington fight because he has a belt.
Yeah.
And you could always fight Carl Frampton at 130. Moving on, fight preview. Thursday night Facebook watch brought to you by Golden Boy from beautiful, luxurious Atlantic City, New Jersey. Demetrius Ballard and Eddie Gomez co-headline. And folks, there's a bevy of boxing. Check your local listings on Friday and Saturday on The Zone and ESPN Plus and also CBS Sports. One interesting note before we move on to the Ask Mario segment of the show. I spoke to Bob Arum, and I asked him what is going on with Terrence Crawford. As of right now, he has no fight set.
And what did he say?
Okay, that's terrible. This is what he told me about the possibility.
Jay Caliendo over here. Who's that guy?
Frank
Caliendo,
Yeah.
sorry. Jay's his cousin.
This is what he told me about Spence Crawford and the possibility of making that matchup.
We have another few weeks before we have to finalize a Crawford fight. And we're waiting to get a call. Let's sit down and negotiate the deal. I had a reporter in here yesterday who said to me that he heard that Spence wanted a 60-40 split in the fight. So I said, well, that's ridiculous. But, I would be amenable to a 45-45 split with 10 to go to the winner.
So, Mario, do you like the theory or the proposal of Arum in a situation like this, out of the revenue that is generated, the split should be 45-45 with 10 going to the winner? That seems to be a form of prize fighting.
I don't like it. I love it.
Ooh.
I think it's incredibly fair. Providing that incentive should even make for a better fight. And I don't see how any fighter could argue with it. If you had to name who's the bigger draw, who would you say? To me, I it's pretty close, but I think I'd still lean towards Terrence Crawford, only because I think of the exposure with ESPN and the hometown cult following. I shouldn't say cult, but the hometown following that he has in Nebraska. He's built up quite by like a hair, not by like a, but I'm saying by like a hair. Perhaps I know this last fight in Dallas had a lot to do with his star rising in against Mikey Garcia. But I still think there's a little bit more. So, no, but I'm saying it's very, very close. I'm just saying if you had to, maybe by hair. So that's why, hence, I think the proposal is very fair.
Yeah,
You would say the latter. You would say that Spence is maybe the bigger star?
Yeah, but also he had a better dance partner. Look, if you made one guy fight
True.
Amir Khan,
True.
and then it was
So,
Terrence
but-
Crawford had Mikey Garcia,
prior
their
to-
numbers would be reversed.
Prior to Mikey, though, you would say Terrence maybe.
I would say so, yes.
Okay,
And the bottom line is that, again, dance partners matter. You give me Mikey Garcia as an opponent for Terrence Crawford, he would do much better numbers than Amir Khan with Errol Spence.
Well,
that's the reality.
Well, okay, that's my point then. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If all things being equal.
Moving on to the Ask Mario segment of the show from Twitter. Let's go to the first one from my boy Ramiro, Blogger Boxing 3. Oh, I love this one. What is your favorite Chappelle Show skit?
Oh, man, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Clayton Bigsby.
Clayton Bigsby.
Yeah, he was not woke.
The blind.
The blind black
white
KKK guy.
supremacist. Yeah. I like the Prince skit, too. Blouses.
Yeah, that's great.
That was
Keeping
a great.
it real goes wrong.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I would say
a lot of
my
them.
personal favorite, because at that point I was working for a website, and it's really underrated. What if the internet was a real place?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one
yeah.
was a good one.
That's
Remember,
funny.
spam blocker, bitch. Remember that?
Yeah, yeah.
The racial draft was very good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember the first two seasons.
He asked for one, Kim. You're giving
Yeah.
us all.
No, well, we're trying to give you like a Mount
The whole
Rushmore.
show is
Yeah, yeah,
legendary.
yeah.
I remember the first two seasons being on par with In Living Color. I thought it was that good.
Yeah, it was.
And then all of a sudden, didn't he have like this mental breakdown, or he got burnt out on the whole scene, and then he shut down before season 3? I thought it's one of the most disappointing things
Yeah,
as
and he
a
went to
television
Africa
fan.
for a
There's a
while.
lot of
and-
stories on it. Supposedly Comedy Central was trying to tell him the direction to take it, and he didn't like it. Who really knows? But
Did he ever actually do the third season, and it was just never
No,
released?
They released some unreleased sketches, but there's no third season officially.
Right.
Wow, okay.
Exactly.
All right. Also, Ramiro asks, will you be going to Vegas in July for Pacquiao Thurman? My tia wants me to get a shirt autographed.
I'm happy to autograph a shirt for your tia, but unfortunately I won't be there because I'm having a baby around that time. So I
Ooh,
gotta
okay.
stick around. You know?
Oh, yes,
I'll be
priorities.
watching it though.
Priorities.
I'm
Here's
looking forward to that.
Here's one from Ghislaine LeBlanc. What are Justin's thoughts on what's going to happen to the Golden State Warriors this offseason? Ask Nichols.
Gosh.
Hashtag.
It's a long conversation.
If you're the Golden State Warriors,
I
do
think
you
you have to
owe
let
it?
KD walk
What? Oh.
because we have to build a team for next year to at least make the playoffs. If Durant doesn't play at all, we have no one. on
What
the
about
team.
Clay? Clay's
gotta
out
bring-
for
Well,
the
he's
bring-
not. There's not if he's not
Bring
going to
Clay
play.
back because Clay will show up in around maybe late February, March. And if by then we're like the 6th, 7th seed with Clay coming back, we'd be the most dangerous 6th, 7th seed you've ever seen in the playoffs.
But Durant, there's no way he's coming
He's
back.
not coming back.
He's not
So
coming
if
back.
we
Not
pay
because he
him next
tore his
year
Achilles. So
because
that's
of
not
the
happening.
salary cap, we'd have no roster.
Do you think ethically and morally
I respect the hell out of Kevin Durant. Though.
that the Warriors should at least offer him the max? Like, hey, we put you out there. Maybe we shouldn't have.
They probably
It cost
will.
you some money.
Well, no, what you mean we put me out there? Here's the thing. I don't feel, look, you're a grown man, first of all, you're professional. The doctor clears you, then it's on you, and you're everybody. That can happen. That
Oh,
could have
I'm with
happened.
you.
That could have happened regardless
Yeah.
if he was already
yeah, like look at Klay Thompson
injured
the
prior.
next game.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It
Yeah.
can always, no matter what, that can happen to any of them out there. So you can't say if
See,
this,
I'm with
what
you
if that.
because this whole notion that Kevin Durant and his team didn't have a say in the NBA, which is not like the NFL.
Yeah.
And look, that's almost an insult to his representatives.
Right.
That if they didn't
Yeah.
do their own due diligence. But I mean, when
Stuff
Bob Myers
happens.
is crying I'm like, Bob, you're not winning an Oscar.
Yeah, take it easy.
Come on,
Take it
okay?
easy.
We don't have to throw any benefits for Kevin Durant. They all have guaranteed contracts, and he's probably already worth like what, $300-400 million.
Easily.
But you know
Easily.
what? Yeah, they ended up obviously all getting broke down. But Kawhi Leonard to me is like the anti-LeBron. Love that dude. Quiet assassin. Just goes about his own deal. Goes over there with no superstars really. If he were to come to the Clippers, let's just play fantasy for a
Ooh.
second. Clippers are with the 7th seed this last. It's not inconceivable now that
He makes them a contender.
The fact that the Warriors are decimated now.
Yeah.
It's not. If he were to come to the Clippers in that team, he could make a run, bro.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he were to win another one? Where do you
On the
rank
third
him with a third team? That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it's pretty crazy, right?
You know, if Clay doesn't.
because he has no allegiance to
No,
Toronto,
he doesn't. And there's already.
and he's from LA,
Yeah.
so he can say, he's coming home. So
I thoroughly enjoyed Game 6, though.
That was a great series.
To me, if Clay doesn't get injured, we would have had a game yesterday,
Oh,
Game
right,
7
right,
on
exactly.
Sunday.
Yeah.
exactly.
And for that, I have a question. Steph Curry has the ball. Game 6 with like 8.9 seconds.
Yeah.
You're only down by 1.
Right.
Why do you shoot a quick 3?
Yeah.
You could have done something where you pump it, go into the middle of the lane. I didn't understand why you needed a quick 3 down by 1.
Right.
A layup puts you ahead.
Right.
I
Take the foul. It was just,
Yeah.
One thing we will find out next year, though, because everyone's been saying anybody could coach the Warriors.
Yeah.
How good is Steve Kerr? 'Cause
Nah,
next year
now
we'll
it's
find
the
out.
litmus test.
Yeah.
The Throne South. Mario, as a person that has many, many Twitter followers, the question is, are you following OJ on Twitter?
Oh my God.
Hello there.
You know what's crazy about when he came out is that he was like laughing about it and having a good old time as if nothing.
I've got the clip if you guys want it.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Oh.
Hey, Twitter world, this is yours truly. Now, coming soon to Twitter, you'll get to read all my thoughts and opinions on just about everything. Now, there's a lot of fake OJ accounts out there, so this one, at the real OJ32, is the only official one. So, this should be a lot of fun. I got a little getting even to do. So, God bless. Take care.
He got some getting even to do. Come on. How you going
my
to end it with some
God.
getting even to do, dude?
Come on, Orenthal.
Oh, man. So, you got to follow him, though, right? I want to see what
All right, do you follow him, though?
Well, I'm going to
I
start
follow
now. Juice is loose.
He gets retweeted enough. I almost feel like as I am following him.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's trolling. Hopefully, he's just trolling to a
Well, the
certain
one
degree.
dude
but
that was doing a
jeez.
fake OJ account, he threatened him with like knife emojis and
OJ
stuff.
DM'd him like knife emojis.
It's awesome.
Out of control.
Is there a white Bronco emoji? I would love to
my
send one
God,
out to him.
That'd be funny.
Oh,
25 years.
Gee.
25 years.
Yeah.
What was it,
other
yesterday?
day,
The other day.
14th.
25 years.
Yeah,
to
I
the-
still
to the chase.
remember I was watching Game 5 of the Rockets Knicks.
Knicks,
And I was
exactly.
I'm still a huge
Yeah, they
Akeem Olajuwon fan. I was
Yeah.
pissed off when they went away from the game. 'Cause
Yeah.
honestly, I was like, can we get to Game 5? There's other channels here, but again, by the way,
I remember that too. I was in Vegas. We were shooting Saved by the Bell wedding in Las Vegas.
Oh, yes. When
During
Zach and
that
Kelly got
time.
married.
highly
Zach and Kelly
recommended.
And that's when we started. I wasn't in that scene, so I stopped and watched the chase in
Crazy.
Vegas. It's funny because the verdict I was in when they read the verdict. I was in Wisconsin. I was in these random places when both of those incidents happened.
I'm not saying this just because I'm an ESPN employee, but June 17th, 1994, the 30 for 30 that just went through the whole day of the newsreels and the highlights of that
Yeah.
day. It's incredible.
Oh no, the OJ was great.
They
That
did
was-
a
it was
great
That was
job on
great.
that.
They did a really good job.
Here's one from Bay Area sports fan. Must be a cousin of Nichols. What's more important, having the linear championships or unifying the alphabet belts? Interesting question.
I would say unifying.
Me too. You know why? Because it's about the here and now,
Exactly.
and it generally means you're cleaning out a whole division of quality fighters.
Yes.
Linear, you could beat the worst linear champion, and
Right.
voila.
Yes.
But if you're knocking off the WBA, BC, BO, IBF, you've probably done something.
That's
You've gone through a
historical,
real
right.
modern-day gauntlet. Here is Clay Stevenson at Glitter Road. Oh, this is a deep question. What is your favorite role in your career, and how did you prepare for the role of Greg Louganis? Did you just dive right into it?
Oh my god.
Yeah, I said it. Splash.
I did do a little diving. I went to SC to try to because I
Did
never
you
dove
really?
right, and I wasn't.
They just didn't use
scared
a
of
body?
heights.
They didn't-
But dude, it's that 10 meters. That's high, bro.
looks scary.
And then I got a little cocky and tried to do a little flip with it, and I landed on my side and it knocked the wind out of me.
Ooh.
And I had some welts, and then it humbled you really quick, and you're like, oh, had a whole new appreciation for diving
Yeah.
because it literally, you know, when they say it's like hitting ground, it really is like hitting ground. I hit, I was,
Yeah.
and I couldn't breathe. So I was like, whoa. Then I chilled. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to, because I said, no, I can maybe do a couple
No.
of this. No. So after that, diving's a whole nother deal.
So you were Steph Curry, splash brother. Anyway, here's one from Luke Murphy. What are your guys' thoughts on the bare knuckle fight between Paulie Malignaggi versus Artem Lobov this weekend?
Wait, is that really happening?
Interested or turned off by the whole thing?
Have
I'm
you
intrigued.
Have you
I'm intrigued.
seen any of the bare knuckle fights? Have you
Yeah,
seen any of them?
they're bloody.
Bro, they are
Dude,
brutal.
They don't play.
And they do not play, and I don't care what you're winning. I don't know if it's worth it. You're coming out of there looking a hot mess. And if you can actually really know how to fight, it can.
I think it's
I'm
a bad
surprised-
idea for Paulie. I
I'm
really
seeing-
do.
I'm
I
thinking.
do.
I don't know how it gets sanctioned. Yeah. What did Paulie not save his money? Is
No, he
not
did.
getting-
I-
what's going on here?
I talked to Paulie at the
Oh, what did he say?
Crawford Conf. I said, Paulie, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
He goes, Steve, I miss it. He goes, I really do. Because
Well,
like,
then go spar in the
no,
gym.
but it's a little bit different. He likes the bright lights, and I still think he has Conor McGregor in the back of his mind. Conor lives rent free in his head. But what's that old line from Rocky in Rocky 2? And he said, Adrian, you married a fighter. This is what we do. This is what we are. And I still think he misses the adrenaline, being out in front of a crowd, putting it on the line.
Well, then you should get back in the ring. You get into this bare
Well, let's say
knuckle,
he
that's a
loses
whole nother
badly.
thing.
Does he blow his legacy to a certain degree? Does it hurt it?
I think his legacy is hurt even participating.
Really?
Yeah, I do. Even winning. Yeah.
Really?
I really do.
Huh.
I as a whole, look, you can't take away what somebody did in the ring, and I
Yeah.
think Paulie's a really good announcer too, and he does a good
Excellent.
job. He really does. He's articulate, but I don't know why he feels the need. He's around the sport.
Right.
He's still involved. He can. So it's not like you're.
But I heard
completely-
financial reasons are not involved.
Wow.
He's done well. He's not
Wow.
destitute. He's
Yeah, no, 'cause
okay.
he's a bright guy. I'm surprised. Well, good luck to him. I want to see it. Is it a pay-per-view?
It is. It is. Look, will I watch? Will someone send me a clip? Will I turn away? No. I kind of want to see, can Paulie, who's kind of a feather-fisted guy, he says, Steve, I'm going to knock the F out of him. That's what he told me. Flat. He feels his hand skills are that much better. He says, look, I'm not a hard puncher, but he says, these guys are not used to getting hit with accurate punches they never see. That's his belief.
Okay, we'll see. But if you're coming in with some, if you do have heavy hands and you are able to land, that's a whole other deal.
Absolutely. Here's one from Sal at Red Sox Sal. What would your guys' nicknames be in the ring? Mine would be Sandals.
How about Flops? Flops.
Flops better, yeah.
Steve Flops. Can.
There's a double meaning there, yeah.
Right?
How about you, the Mexican Mauler, Mario Lopez?
No. It'd have to be
Pretty
it'd have
Boy
to be something
Lopez?
Spanish like El Matador or something. You know what I mean?
The handsome Mario Lopez.
Oh
something like that.
God! Come on, Kim. You're more creative than that. As far as what's your favorite nicknames? Manos de Pierda still. Duran's is still pretty
Explosive
cool.
Thin Man
Hands
was
of
great.
Stone.
Hitman.
Thomas the Hitman. Motor City Cobra.
Yeah.
He had the best.
He did. The other great one, Easton Assassin.
Easton
Larry
and
Holmes. Oh, Iron Mike. Iron Mike was such a.
It's not that original, but Thomas the Hitman
Oh,
Hearns. that was
Manasseh Mauler. Jack Dempsey, because he was from Manasseh,
Yeah.
Utah. I
Yeah.
love that one. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
great nicknames.
Yeah.
Here's one from Danny Vans. Strangest venue for a mega fight. Mine would have to be Lewis Tyson in Memphis, Tennessee. Nothing against Memphis.
100%.
But just a strange city of choice. Okay, here's what happened, though. Remember, Mike could not get licensed in Nevada.
Right.
So they had to do an end run, and they had to look for like a rogue commission that would say, oh, yes, we want that.
And people went out to that fight. I remember Denzel Washington. A lot of people. Memphis,
2002.
Tennessee, yes.
The biggest.
I was in San Francisco for that fight. Isn't that weird how you remember certain things?
Yeah.
I was in San Francisco at a bar watching that fight. I had to be there for work or
The
something. I couldn't remember that.
strangest venue for a quote-unquote big fight that I've been to was Tim Bradley, Devin Alexander in January of 2011. Silverdome.
Silverdome. I remember
Mario,
that.
let me just say one thing.
You said it was just a travesty.
Decrepit. And people said, why'd you go? Morbid curiosity. And being in Detroit, and the venue's actually in Pontiac, it's depressing. And to see how
And it was a depressing fight.
Yeah, and to see how run down the Silverdome was, and I'm thinking to myself, I used to watch Billy Sims as a kid here. Isaiah Thomas, and it had weeds growing out of the parking lot. It was so unkept.
Yeah.
Half the stadium was closed off.
Gary Shaw, correct?
Gary Shaw and Don King. And here's the thing. I became a bad guy in the media because everyone said this is so great. And I said, wait a minute. If you're saying this fight is that important to boxing, why are we going there?
Yeah.
I thought they had a responsibility with everything that they were given in terms of money, license fee, marketing, that if you really want to promote this as an important fight, have it in Atlanta where there's a big black community. Have it in St. Louis where Devin Alexander was a big draw. Have it in Las Vegas. But being in Detroit and Silverdome, I have to tell you, it's everything that city is supposed to be, and it ain't a good thing. And the most memorable part of that trip
Is leaving.
was hanging out with Emmanuel Stewart for a full day.
Yeah.
Drove me around to all his houses, his properties. It was memorable from that
It
perspective.
failed on many levels, from the venue to the fight itself.
Oh, what a buzzkill.
Oh, it was a buzzkill.
Funniest part, Alex Coe, one of our writers from Max Boxing, drove up. He had this car filled with all this stuff. So he goes, I'll give you guys a ride back to the hotel. And it's like midnight or 1 o'clock. He has a pitcher of beer in between the front seat and the driver's seat.
Damn.
So as he turns on the thing, he pops it open and goes, hey, you want a beer? And I go, wait, you're going to drive right now? You're driving. And what if you get pulled over? And he goes, Steve, we're in Detroit. Do you think there's any cops within a 500-mile radius of this neighborhood? And I look, I go, no big deal. We just he's driving with Budweiser.
With the keg.
Yeah, with the keg. Didn't even care.
So that's like a skit.
Moving on to final flurries. Mario, your golf tournament. I didn't get to see him. I had other things to do. How was Yachtly Crew?
Oh, dude. Yachtly Crew, the band, is awesome, right,
They
Nichols?
rock, dude.
They're
I was
so much.
enjoying it.
Aren't they so much
Yeah.
fun? So much fun. You would have liked it, all the jams, but you had somewhere to go.
Yeah, WBC dinner.
Not
at
as
the
fun.
Palm.
Not as fun. First of all, me hosting a golf tournament is like, I don't know. Arnold Palmer hosting a rodeo.
Or OJ doing couples counseling.
There you go. There you go. Because that's extreme. That's extreme. Because
I went there.
I don't play golf, but it's all for a good cause and for the St. Joseph's Hospital where my kids were born, and I spent many an ER night at. So it's all for, but it's fun. And my buddies went, and we raised a lot of money, set a record. So it was a big success. But then, let me tell you, drinking from like 9 in the morning to 9 at night. I'm too old for that.
Open
I'm
bar
ready for
too.
bed right now.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
open bar. I
need a nap
partook
right
a little
now.
bit. But by the way, I took Uber. Just want to let everyone know.
Very good. Very
Mario, the Lakers. We got AD.
Yo,
We got AD. We kept Kuzma.
thank
But
goodness.
now let me be.
Got rid of your boy Ball.
That's-
You're not going to hear
well,
it from your boy LeVar anymore.
You know what? Here's the issue. I think Ball in New Orleans with everything they're him and Zion.
He's going to blossom.
No, they're gonna.
He should.
They're gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Because they have some guys that could really finish.
I wish we would have kept him, to tell you the truth.
Look, the guy that I'm really upset about, and he gives me the same feeling
Ingram.
as Orange Julius Randle. Yes.
Oh.
Brandon Ingram. I
Yep.
think his best basketball is in front of him. He's still only 21, 22,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Oh,
Well,
God.
Randall, funny that you say that because
Uh,
he's going to be available now.
Randall had a hell of a year. Randall has developed into a really good NBA player.
Maybe we get him back. What do you think about the rumors that we could possibly get Kyrie?
I don't want the Flatlander. Get him out of
Really?
here. No, he's toxic.
We need shooters. We need some good white guys on the outside that can bury now, though.
Here's the thing. You get one basketball per game,
know?
right? You get one ball. All right.
That's it.
So, LeBron's going to get the ball a lot. Anthony Davis is going to get his touches. Kuzma is a pretty good offensive player. Where does Kyrie fit in, though?
Yeah, you're right. It might not. It sounds good on paper, but it might not be able to be pulled off. So now that he's there, Pelinka looks like a genius,
No.
or Magic Johnson
No.
just looks bad.
No, we are very thankful for LeBron's agency or Rich Paul.
Right.
Because that's the relationship there. So you kind of knew this was a fait accompli, as they say. Now, if you're the Lakers, here's the other thing. I look, I'm not Jerry West, but I'll play one on TV. They need some shooters.
I
You
just
need
said
some
we need
snipers.
some white guys on the outside.
Right, where's
Sure,
JJ
yeah.
Redick? Come on board. But
Right.
He's a free agent.
you need some really good role players. Okay, not like the Motley Crew, not Yachtly, but the Motley Crew they had last year. You got to
Right.
jettison those guys.
So now Vegas has them as pretty strong, favorites.
They should be top 4 in the West. Do
Well,
I
at
think
least
they're
we'll-
favorites? I don't know.
Well, at least we'll be in the playoffs, hopefully. And
You know
that
what
hasn't
worries me,
happened
though?
in like 7-8 years.
Mario, is this a good fit, though? Because if you go back to when Chris Bosh joined LeBron, okay, Chris Bosh in Toronto was this highly productive, all-star caliber guy. You ever seen his numbers with LeBron?
Yeah.
Came just a good player.
I agree, but he won rings. Here's the thing with now, though. I think with AD, now we'll be able to attract other free agents, and in the future, because Braun may be a little. He might be slowing down finally, but I think with AD,
So there's certain
it
nights
bodes well.
LeBron's going to say, AD, your game.
Right.
Let me just hang back a little bit.
Right.
Stuff like
I'm
that.
interested to see where Kawhi goes. Because if, in fact, he does go, do you think he stays in the East or he comes to L.A.?
If he stays in the East, he might be in the finals for the next 3-4 years, right?
I don't know why he would leave there.
Regardless, he's going to laugh all the way to the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
no
laugh.
matter what.
Ha, ha. Did you see what he did at the parade? Mocking his own laugh. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
that
I like
was
him.
good.
I like him.
One of my summer rituals, which lets me know that football is on the horizon, Hard Knocks on HBO. I think the Raiders are absolutely a perfect team with those
This might be the
personalities.
best season
They're,
ever.
they're good TV.
Mhm.
They seem that they're going to be good TV.
Vontez Burfict,
Yeah. what kind of-
Antonio Brown.
Talk about a motley crew.
Wow, that's a motley crew.
Exactly.
By the way, Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, was at the fight. He's honorary Asian with that haircut. All of us, we gave up that haircut at age 8 or 9. This guy stuck with the rice bowl. That's impressive.
What do you call yours? The Kim Jong?
The Kim Jong.
Okay.
The Kim Jong Steve. And, okay, here's something I heard that's serious. Mark Davis was actually there for a reason. He loved the scene. His father, Al Davis, was actually very good friends with Bob. That new stadium, it's going to do a fight
We
one day.
always said we prayed and hoped that they might do some huge fights there. Maybe a
Wilder Fury.
a Wilder Fury, a
Ooh.
Canelo Spence.
Yes.
Later on, that'd be awesome.
Yes. Mario, you are a guy, and I've seen you publicly, and you're very good with your fans. You take a lot of pictures. You are very open. You try to accommodate everybody.
Thank you.
I saw this thing
Even though
with,
you get mad when you're with me.
Yeah, because I'm not going to be the Asian guy that just takes pictures, okay? We're not at Disneyland, folks. I saw with Keanu Reeves now that he's taking precautions where he's kind of have the arms wrapped, but he's not even touching the female fans at all.
He goes finger straight out.
Yeah, finger straight out like I didn't do it. Like I didn't
He ain't
foul.
trying to get accused or anything.
No hand checking here. Is he going overboard, or do you think that's the safe move?
Well, listen, in this climate, I guess you can never be too safe. I'm not going to stop being who I am. I'm a very kind of touchy. I'll give people hugs, and I think it goes with who you are and your personality, and people can tell if you're.
Yeah, they're not like Joe Biden hugs.
Yeah.
They're
Right,
normal.
Oh,
right,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
sniffing hair. Jeez, that guy's like a bloodhound.
And yeah, exactly. And little kids, you know, I
Ugh.
love like this little kid.
That guy.
We were eating the other day. This cute little chubby kid was right there. Hey, get over here! And he came over, and I just gave him a hug because he was so cute. He was nice, and so I'm not gonna stop being who I am. I think people can tell if you're a creepy guy or not. You know,
Okay.
and so you got to be who you got to be.
Now, are they railroading our guy who used to work at Wild Card quite often? Cuba Gooding, what's going on there?
Wow, he had to
Jeez,
turn
poor
himself
Cuba.
in, man. Well, if you're going by the video that was out there, first of all, that video looks really suspicious because it's him and is it his wife or his girlfriend?
I think it might be a girlfriend, maybe a
Okay.
wife. I'm not sure.
Okay, his
Great
significant
question.
other right there.
Yeah.
They're hanging out. This other girl comes over, and then he leans over, puts his hand on her leg, and then he proceeds to kind of grab her elsewhere. But the wife, like leaning over the wife and doing it, and the other dude comes over. He's kind of grabbing the dude.
Yeah, I think
The
he
whole
touched the guy.
Yeah, he
It looked
did.
very swingery.
It was very swingery. So I think it was swingery gone awry, and then someone maybe got dollar signs. So I think he will be exonerated, but it's not a good look nevertheless.
Yeah. Worse looks than Snow Dogs for Cuba Gooding?
Dude. He likes to party, though.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him at Wild Card in a while, though. Nice guy, though. I mean,
He's a
you
very
know,
nice guy. Very nice guy.
I've never seen a guy. He won an Oscar for playing Rod Tidwell, right? Show Me the Money.
Yeah.
And then 3 years later, he's doing like the Love Boat, the gay Love Boat movie, and he was doing Snow Dogs. I'm like, who the hell's his agent? My God,
It's a tough
what
business,
a decline!
Tim.
I guess.
Dang, you are cold as ice.
No, I'm just
Poor
saying, but
guy's
anyway-
trying to stay afloat.
No, but there you go. That's a reference. But with all that said, Cuba, good luck in all this. I hope it works out.
Yes,
All right.
God bless
Oh,
you.
by the way, folks, you see this hoodie or this sweater? Really nice. And look at the mug. Look, if you want to get your official 3 Knockdown Rule gear, you do clean that first before you drink out of it, Mario. Or your 3 Knockdown Rule apparel. Go to 3knockdownrule.com for all your official merchandise. So on behalf of Mario Lopez and Justin Buffalo Nichols, this is Steve Kim saying adios.